Good evening, afternoon, depends on where you're at in this great country. The Unprofessional Professional Sports Podcast. Hope everybody's doing good. I am BA along with Bo Crotch and James J. Train Martin. Keith is on vacay assignment, whatever we want to put that to be. Anyway, so I hope he's having a good one. Retired life. You got to love it. All right, so we're going to immediately get into some NBA because that is the topic of this week. And let's start off with the first thing that happened. Let's see, where is it? The Wizards re-signed Trae Young to a 4-year, $212 million contract after he opted out of a $49 million player option for next season. Any thoughts on this? Because, we're always going to say this. He's going to get paid what the team thinks he should get paid.
Sure.
So I think it's a bit steep, but whatever. It is what it is.
I'm going to come out since it's, go ahead. Go ahead, Bo.
I was just going to say it's a lot, especially when you consider his best years were before the Harden rule that had him going to the line a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have near the production that he did once that rule took effect. Now we call it the Harden rule because, he was all pro at diving into people as he shot the ball, but that's something Trae also was prolific at. And, but that being said, this is the NBA and they overpay for everything. So he gets a payday, good on him, but that sure seems like a lot of money for a guy that doesn't have the same production.
I'm not so certain on that. I'm not going to go with that take. I don't think he's overpaid. I think you're paying a superstar player and you're giving him some help. Washington is heading in the right direction with their first round pick. And so I think $212 million is, like you said, is the going rate, but Trae's got he's a point guard. He's a point guard. He averaged 8 assists. He's gonna have some help. I think the Wizards are gonna be they're in the right direction. They're going in the right direction. I mean, the Wizards have been bad for years. And I'm not saying that they're gonna be like world beaters, but I think they're gonna be better. I think they're gonna and I think also that hold on one second. Let me see. You're still good?
Now you're gone.
Yeah. No one can hear.
There we go. Yeah. Sorry. I was getting a call. Yeah. So I think Trae is definitely he's the centerpiece. He's the centerpiece, but that first round draft pick, man, that's a big deal for them. I think that's gonna change a lot of things for them.
Yeah, we'll get into those draft picks in a little while here. The second thing that happened was the Minnesota Timberwolves traded forward center Julius Randle and the 28th overall pick in the draft to Brooklyn Nets in a part of a 3-team deal that involved the Chicago Bulls. And Chicago acquired center Nick Claxton while sending a 33rd overall pick to the Wolves. Poor Randall. I don't even know what to say about that whole thing. That dude is. I think he'd be pretty pissed about that whole situation. I don't know. But, yeah, that's not good. What do you guys think about this trade?
Go ahead.
Expected. It's expected. Randall is he's who he is. I mean, he give you some good minutes, good quality minutes, defense, and some offensive minutes on the inside, but he wasn't any. I mean, you see what he's done in the playoffs when he was with the Knicks. You see what he's done with the playoffs when he's here with and I don't think it's going to be any love loss for Anthony Edwards. Although I think Anthony Edwards can be a little bit better himself, considering he's supposed to be a superstar there, and I think he is a superstar. But the effort is a little bit different. I know, mind you, he got hurt in the playoffs this year, but I just haven't seen. I don't think I've seen all the max effort I can see out of Anthony Edwards, and so I'm not going to put it all on a man that got traded, but it's not. It wasn't. It was expected. Let's just put it that way. It was expected, and it is what it is. Randall is he's a really good player. He's not a superstar. He's I don't know if he's a piece that you add on to something. He's also getting up there in a little bit in age as well. So I mean, I don't know. We'll see what Minnesota does, but I'm not putting anything emphasis on the trade that happened and the guy that they gave a contract to $100 million to the guard that did some decent things in the playoffs for Minnesota. I don't know. I don't like the outlook of Minnesota right now. Maybe they need to add a few more pieces, but I don't like what they've done thus far. The needle has not moved for me from Minnesota until I see Anthony Edwards get better, and then maybe they add a replacement for Randall as well. I'm just not excited for them.
Yeah, it's that last part. Like this didn't move the needle for me, like across the board. Like it was a trade. It happened. Did anybody get better? Yeah, we'll see. So yeah, it was just something that you're just like, okay, that was a lot of moving pieces to probably kind of stay about where you are.
Exactly.
And on to the trade, the Giannis trade. Giannis's trade to the Miami Heat. The Heat received Giannis and Bobby Portis. Bucks received guard Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, Jamie Jarquez, Kasparas Jakuchi, number 13th pick, first round pick, and a 2033 first round pick, a 2033 second round pick, a 2031 first round pick, 2030 first round swap, and a 2026 13th pick.
Yep.
All for Giannis
and Portis.
Trading Giannis for Jakuchi.
Personally, Jakuchi.
Yeah, I mean, this is interesting. Obviously, Miami's not, opposed to doing these types of trades, right? We've seen this through the years, and it makes a difference, right away, right? It'll move them into a contender-ish, right? They're probably still the 4th or 5th best team. So, I mean, they get better, right? But that doesn't make them the odds-on favorite or anything like that. At the same time, on the other side, you have no idea if this is going to work out because those picks are so far in the future that who knows? Like they could be awesome, could be nothing. Like they might have just blown this thing up for the sake of blowing it up. And we're not going to know for years because those picks are a while away. So, what?
Yeah, 2031 and 2033 that's probably around the time where this makes sense, an advantage for Miami because they can still work around it, which makes sense. You gave a lot of players that no one's going to even talk about anymore. Tyler Hero, maybe. The rest of those guys they can be replaced. That being said, you got Norman Powell, you got Wiggins, you have a few other pieces. You got Bam Adebayo. So you got really good defense here. You got a guard play out of Norman Powell, but you could use. I think they probably can get another player. Maybe they trade. I heard this on Speak Easy with Acho and Shady McCoy on their podcast that they had came up with a good idea, but maybe they're not done. Maybe they trade Bam Adebayo to Boston and acquire JB, and have a shooting guard there to go along with Giannis Antetokounmpo, and that makes things a lot better because you have 2 MVP caliber players there to be able to build around and put some ancillary players there that you don't really that you can just put other players there. You keep Wiggins. I like Wiggins. I like Powell. But if you have a shooting guard there in Jaylen Brown, if they were to trade as a proposed idea, if they were to trade Bam Adebayo, because again, it might not be a bad thing because Jaylen Brown doesn't want to be there. He wants to go and be his own dude, but I don't know if maybe he doesn't want to go to play with Giannis. Maybe, but you got to play with somebody, and and to have somebody of a caliber player, MVP caliber player in Giannis to team up with you, and he's not taking your role. Maybe you're handling the ball, you're being the shooting guard. Like again, he was number 2 in the MVP voting this year at one point. So I like the trade. I like the trade. I think Pat Riley, again, he's in his bag right now. This is what he did with Miami. This is what he did twice with Miami. This is what he did with LA. I wasn't great in New York, but Pat Riley is going to build something here. So I don't think they're done. I think they're going to figure some other things out, and we'll see Miami probably, I would say, in the East, maybe third best in the East, behind New York and Boston.
I'm not giving them third best in the East. Not doing that.
Well, I'm not saying
doing,
here comes the homer action. Here we go.
No, I don't think they're. No, it's not got nothing to do with homer action, James.
Well, who do you have number third? Who do you have third? Who do you have third?
I got Detroit at third.
Of course, it's homer action.
But I don't see that. Hold up. First of all, it's not homer action. Okay. First of all. Second of all, I don't even see Miami as being the 5th or 6th right now.
I didn't say right now. I said once they're not done, I can see some moves that are going to be made that will make them a lot better. First of all, defensively,
heck of a move.
Defensively already, they're better than most teams that are in the East. I can tell you that right now.
Well, and that's why I said 5th or 6th right now, is because they can shut other teams down to some degree, right?
Yes.
And where they lack on offense will be fine because they play good enough defense. And that's why I think with the moves, if it's currently constructed, 5th or 6th is probably realistic about where they'd be.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Now,
who would you? Okay, let's give them Detroit 3. Let's give Detroit. Let's just for the sake of argument, Detroit 3. Who would be, if you said 5th or 6th? Who would be the other 2 to 1 or 2 teams that you would put ahead of them?
Well, I would want to put Orlando up there because if they're all healthy, that's one of the teams I'd put up there 4th. I kind of like what Atlanta did too. Atlanta did some pretty good things too. I'd probably put them above there right now.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Atlanta and maybe Orlando.
I would give Orlando the benefit of the doubt, but they just lost their coach. I just think, that's going to be tough. I mean, I like to see where but again, this is all speculation because we don't know where none of these teams are going to be, but I could see Orlando, they're talented. They are talented. I would give them a nod, but again, they got ousted in the first round, but again by Detroit in the 7-game series. So I don't know. I think the injury bug that Giannis had, I think it was fake. I think he just wanted to get out of town, and so I think he's probably healthier than people think, honestly. So we will see, man. I'm again, Giannis, the Greek freak. We can't discount him. I just think that he's going to be in a better situation, and his coach.
Well,
this is probably the best coach he's had his whole career. I'm just going to say, Eric Spoelstra is that dude. So that matters as well. So and they've been to 2 finals post LeBron James year. So I mean, it's just. Again, he's in a good situation, and you got the management there with Pat Riley. It's hard for me to think that they're going to be the 5th or 6th best team with those things in place. And again, I don't think they're done. I think they're going to do more things before the season hits.
Well, and one thing to keep in mind is you're also talking about the regular season as far as being in those positions, right? So you're looking at a Cavs team that has Harden, who's a rock star in the regular season. Now, he's useless once postseason starts, but those rankings happen to get you into the postseason, right? And so could the Cavs be in that fourth spot? Sure. Like we've seen that production out of them. Now, once you get into the playoffs, they're like, hey, you know what? Mexico sounds great. And so, they decide they don't want to do it. But no, I mean, and again, fifth or sixth, it's not like that's a slight at a team. Like that's still a solid playoff team.
Mm-hmm.
It's just,
oh yeah, I think they're definitely making the playoffs. That's
well, I mean, more than half the league makes playoffs. So
well, yeah,
I would imagine they're going to make the playoffs, especially once you count the like play in and it's like everybody gets in. Like, I mean, you basically have Oprah as the commissioner and you're a playoff team and you're a playoff team. Losing record doesn't matter. You're a playoff team.
I mean, did Miami make the playoffs last year?
No.
Well,
okay. That's all I'm saying. They're going to make it.
Even if they didn't make it last year. Miss.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, I'm just saying Miami's not going to be the one to miss this year. That's all.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
That's all I'm saying. And the thing about this trade too, Boston was going to give up JB and 2 first-round picks for them. On the flip side of this, how do you see the Bucks right now? Do you see them being competitive? Do you see them rebuilding? Because I think either of these trades kind of show a little bit that they're trying to rebuild, even though I think they're not. Even though they're trying to state they're not rebuilding, but who they got on there?
It's a significant rebuild. When you give away your centerpiece, you're telling us that it's over. I mean, we did all we could here. We took all the guys that you traded for. Tyler Hero, he lives not too far from Milwaukee too. I mean, that's where he grew up, not too far from there. So he's going back home. Tyler Hero was never a centerpiece. I mean, they tried to make it that situation, but I mean, come on.
It's true. Like you got to be bad to not make the playoffs. Like you got to be an awful team. And so yeah, when it comes to the Bucks, it seems like a good time to be like, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and hit the reset button here.
Yeah.
Well, basically, what I'm kind of getting at is, do you think that the trade that they did with Miami would have benefit? Would it benefit if they would have traded with the Celtics instead? Do you think it, because they would have got 2 first-round picks, although one probably would have been next year, but they would have had 2 first-round picks in this year's draft.
No, the Bucks got a better deal with Miami because they gave up. I mean, Miami gave up. They're swapping for next year, I believe, or no, they swapped for this year, right? This year, 13.
Yeah,
was it 13? Yeah, they swapped. They swapped for 13 this year overall, and then of course 31 and 33 they get 2 firsts. They get a first in each one of those respectively, and then they got a couple second rounds swaps, I think, or something like that.
Yeah,
so they got a better
2033 second round pick and a 2030 first round swap.
Yeah,
so wherever they land at, they just swap.
I mean, they end up with 4 picks and 4 players. Like that's a solid haul.
That's a solid haul for sure.
Yeah, like I mean, you can't be mad at the move from either side. Miami's like, hey, I think we can be. I think we can punch our way higher. Right, we're good enough now that we can sacrifice the future a little bit. They're spaced out enough that it doesn't completely hamstring you moving forward.
Right.
And so, you can still know that you have some future, play for today. And then on the other side is like, look, we had this guy and we still weren't getting there. So let's go ahead and make some moves, build for the future. We're going to have an interesting team. We'll give it that. Like it's going to be, I'll be curious to see how these pieces really fit together. But I mean, they got a decent haul. We won't really know who wins this thing until these picks come through. So, we'll revisit this in a decade.
Right. In my honest opinion, you don't trade for Giannis if you don't think you're going to try for anything. And given that they're getting later first round draft picks, you're looking at it from a standpoint. I can see where Pat Riley's thinking. We want to get the best that we can out of Giannis in the next year to 3 years. What we're going to do in the next year to 3 years, while he still has excellent prime years of playing Greek Freak, we're going to build around him. So that's what tells me that this season they're not finished. They're still going to get. I mean, even though they're I think they were in the apron in regards to their payroll, but I mean, I think they're still going to do some. They're going to make more trades, and don't be surprised if Bam is probably not on that list. He may end up, because I mean, when you think about it, they're virtually the same player. I mean, so playing on the court at the same time. But Bam can play just like Giannis. He can play all five. He can defensively. He can play against all five positions. And so I don't know. Maybe they keep them both, but I wouldn't be surprised if they trade him for like a Jaylen Brown out of Boston with maybe another draft pick or something like that. Just so that, because Boston wants to move on from him too, because he's not happy. He's not happy there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, would you be happy when you are in the conversation of every trade rumor?
Right.
No, for sure. You're right. They were going to trade him, but I mean, look what they tried to trade him for. But I mean, even before that, I think I think the situation was like, okay, when your guy went down with Jason Tatum, look what I did. Look, I put us afloat and I kept us in second overall in the East. And I was in MVP conversation, so I'm not trying to live in anybody else's shadow anymore. This is who I am. I want my own team.
No, he liked being the number one. And the thing is if he wants out, the league is so player ran that you could have a 5-year contract, super max, and force your way off a team somehow. Like, it's just that's just the way the league is. So if he wants to get out, like he'll be able to get out. And
it's crazy, like you said, $300 million, and you're not happy.
Yeah, well, and then on the team side, you never get anything for him, right? Like that's the worst part, is the team ends up getting the shaft for it. You think of some of those deals that KD did, right? Signs a big contract and is like, I don't want to be here. So the team ends up with like a, half-cooked thing of Jiffy Pop, and and then the player gets to do whatever they want. Like the league is very weird in that way.
With no salt, no butter.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
That's a choker there, buddy. The Timberwolves
and no water.
Also, right?
Exactly.
Not even in a sip. The Timberwolves re-sign Ayo Dosunmu to a 5-year, $112 million contract. I think this is what they wanted to do when they were getting rid of Randall and all that. I think they wanted to create cap space for him,
right?
So he can remain with Minnesota. Other two notes about the NBA: the Trailblazers hire former Minnesota Timberwolves assistant Micah Nori, and of course, Dusty Mays leaves Michigan Wolverines in a national championship to become the Dallas Mavericks head coach. I'm kind of interested in that one. What do you guys think about him going? We kind of see that college coaches don't really do so well in the NBA. Do you think it'll be any different with Dusty?
I don't know. If he pulled a Larry Brown, first only coach to win in the college, championship and NBA championship. I mean, who knows? It's hard to say. Some coaches understand. Look at Nick Saban. He went to Miami. It was totally different. I mean, he won a championship at LSU, went to Miami, and did okay, but it wasn't great. It wasn't what he, it was different. I mean, he wasn't able to. You're coaching grown men that you can't really keep in check versus how you do in college. And so, and even though that's changed now because they're all getting paid, but I don't know. Maybe he does make a transition. It's just history has shown otherwise. It just doesn't pan out usually. I mean, Rick Pitino had some success when he was in Boston, right? I think it was okay, but again, it's just the outlier was Larry Brown to be successful. So other than that, I just don't. I don't know.
You can be successful. I mean, I don't know if you're going to be successful with the Mavs, but
Maybe. I mean,
maybe.
Cooper's somebody to build around, and
Oh, he is.
who else did they add to the team? If somebody there. I mean, I know
Yes.
Kyrie, but you can never count on him to
Oh,
be
yeah.
healthy. I mean,
You can
so,
count on him for about 15 games.
yes,
not in a row.
Oh,
yes, and he's still going to get paid, guaranteed money.
Yep.
It's crazy.
and speaking of adding players, we had the first round of the NBA draft last night. I think this was pretty a deep draft. Well, at least for the first round. I like some of the picks. Some of these teams did, like OKC. They said, you know what? They kind of pushed the panic alert. I mean, I kind of see what people say. They kind of pushed the panic alert by getting a Damara, but he is 7'3" and he's 260 pounds. Unless he might not challenge the human cheat
Wemby.
code yet. Yeah, but he can get around to that because he's got the length, he's got the weight.
And yet,
I like that pick.
And yet, in today's NBA, he's probably shooting beyond the arc and never gets a rebound.
And of course, that San Antonio. Speaking of San Antonio, they did a very good job in getting a defensive player to help out Wemby in Jaden Acquaintance. That was pretty good. He's got length too. He's got pretty good length. No, they're not asking him to go out there and score in bunches. He's kind of got the same kind of op as Wemby does right now, where he scores by the bucket and he protects the paint. So he's of course going to be somebody they're going to work on to get their shooting better. Was there anything that you saw that popped in this draft, or what a team made a good move on?
Myself, again for the Wizards, AJ DeBanza is hard to really argue that pick. I just think there's going to be magic with Trae Young, and they're going to probably surprise and maybe obviously put themselves probably in the play-in. I mean, because again, I'm not giving no playoff. I'm not making them a playoff team, but I think they're going to make some noise. They're going to win some games, and I like to see who else they put around those two players. But man, you can't go wrong with this. The Darren Peterson to the Jazz. That's going to be a really good pick for them. But man, they need the Jazz are just horrible right now. Hopefully that just makes them a transition to put them on the upside as well. And Cameron Boozer to the Grizzlies. That's going to be good for them too. I just don't know what they're going to do with Ja Morant. So I don't know. I hopefully he gets traded, and if you want to come down to New Orleans, there were some rumors that he's possibly coming to New Orleans. I don't know. I would like that headache. I would like the headache. That he and Zion are good friends, and so maybe they'll both get on there and shoot guns in New Orleans and eat a whole bunch of gumbos. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah.
No, I was with you. I was thinking the Darren Peterson was a good pickup, and now they just need 11 other guys. And so,
I mean, they had a really good draft pick last year. I mean, last season. Yeah. I hope that they're just building for the future. It looks like you have to be building for the future if you're in the top 2 to 3 picks in the lottery every year. So, yeah. I mean, hopefully things start to pan out for Utah. Also, one guy I really thought was great in the tournament was number 7, Darius Cuff out of Arkansas. Mm-hmm. He's with Sacramento. Again, these teams, man, it's still like, wow. I don't know what he's going to do for them, but I mean, he's going to be fun to watch. He's a great player, I think, and that's one of the players I like to see play. But I just don't know if he's going to move the needle for Sacramento, other than in the West
selling tickets. So, yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, he'll sell tickets for sure.
Yeah.
Well, we also had a moment here in watching the NBA draft. I saw a lot of players really get emotional in some of the cases. Not besides forward Kareem Lopez, first Mexican-born player, first-round pick. Eduardo Najera was the only other Mexican-born player in the NBA draft. So, this is, significant for, Mexican players. He played in New Zealand as a pro. And I think that, and he's on Memphis as well, because that was a trade between them and the Pistons. But I like to see that he's going to probably be NBA ready just for the fact he played in a pro league before he got, before he got to the NBA. So that helps him out a lot because all the people are going to develop around him.
Both those players did, right? Didn't the guy for the 7'3" guy out of Michigan also play pro in was France or somewhere?
Spain.
Spain, yes, exactly. Yes. He played pro as well. So they both aren't they both playing there? Wait, where is he playing?
No, Mara's playing in OKC and
OKC, yeah, that's right.
And Lopez is playing in Memphis.
Yeah, so both guys had pro experience internationally. Wow.
Yeah, so a lot of good international players. It was kind of funny to see. Now you can use my homer thing here. Three Michigan players going 9th, 11th, and 12th, like that. And Dusty. It was funny because I heard that there was a rumor that Yaxel wanted to go to Dallas to play with Dusty. And so who does Dusty get the first? He gets Montez first, Johnson. I'm like, out of all the three players, he was the lowest ranked of the three Michigan players. But he's also, the people don't realize he's the most athletic of the three. Now, he might not be the most skilled person of the three, but he is the most athletic of the three. So maybe that's, being a coach, you can see that kind of stuff. So I can see why he chose Johnson for that pick.
It's a reason. If he's there already, like you said, he knows what's up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I do like that, speaking of homer picks, I like that we actually had a Washington kid get in there, being as the Huskies really haven't made a presence in college basketball in a minute. So, so to have a first rounder in there, albeit mostly defensive, but hey, having a first round pick coming out of the UW is cool.
It was Steinbeck, and he went to Charlotte, as a matter of fact. Yep. And we had some other
kid, right? He's 6'11", like he's a big dude.
Yeah, so we had trades within the draft as well. Miami Heat had drafted Nate Emmett, but he was traded to Milwaukee. So there goes some of your additions by subtraction there for Milwaukee, trying to be competitive. I don't know how much that's going to be. But anyway, and of course that Bennett Sturritz was traded to Oklahoma City. And Ibuka Okore was traded by the Thunder to Detroit via Memphis. And, of course, Kareem Lopez, due to that, Memphis, he was traded to Memphis from Detroit. So we got Cameron Carr, who the New York, the champion New York Knicks, might I add, traded Cameron Carr to the Los Angeles Lakers. Los Angeles Lakers didn't draft Sergio Dalera, and he was traded to New York. So they just swapped, basically. Terrace Reed Jr. was traded to San Antonio from Denver, and Joshua Jefferson, drafted by Minnesota, was traded to Brooklyn, and Cleveland drafted Alex Caraban, and he was traded to Sacramento. Poor guys. Dallas Koa Pete was traded to Phoenix via New York. So there you go. That was your updated Milwaukee's full of jagoffs. Pretty much. But they might be functioning jagoffs. You never know.
Another NBA moment. I know we're probably going to move on to something else, but who is it? Lakers. Austin Reeves got a big contract too.
Yes.
Surprising to me. I mean, it's not surprising, but he's a star in the regular season, but he goes missing in the playoffs.
Mhm.
And so we're either
Yeah,
by
but
injury or
that
by
doesn't
play.
seem to matter.
No, it does not. But
I mean,
but again, for him, I'm not gonna lie, a it's what, overachieving? Because what, he was undrafted, I think. Wasn't he undrafted?
sure.
So I mean,
Mhm.
and he
Mhm.
just, he's hit his ceiling, man. I mean, he's playing well. I mean, I'm not gonna not knock anybody from getting their bag. I mean, he worked hard for it, but you got to. I'm just pointing at you, Austin. If you're watching, anytime your name is heard, you're watching a professional show. You got to be in the playoffs and play the same exact way you play in the regular season, man. Your
And then
team
he's
needs
going
you.
to be like, hey, this buddy of mine, Harden, doesn't do any of that. And y'all still love him.
Well, you can add Jalen Duren to that too. So good regular season guy and just in the playoffs. So yeah, don't know what's going
There's
on
no
with that
excuse
whole
for Jalen
situation.
Durham. He's too big for
Mhm.
that. Yeah,
Mhm.
he's such a
I agree with you.
man.
I agree with you. I don't know what the Pistons are going to go about. Do you see any more? Do you see any trades? Who do you see being traded to? I mean, I know that you said, James, that uh, Bam could go to Milwaukee because he's being traded for that same. He could be traded for the same guy that they had before. Um, Anybody else have anything that wouldn't surprise them if there was a trade?
Jared Allen and something for LeBron to the Cavs. I could see that. Because the Lakers have really liked Jared Allen. And so I think they want to move on from the LeBron era, right? So I think it would be something like that.
And that would give them defense too, because they
Yep.
definitely don't have any of that. Jared Allen's a great defender.
Yeah.
I mean, Luka,
Well, I mean,
you know what you're going to get with him. He's not going to get you any defense whatsoever. Austin
let's,
Reeves
let's
not going to get you any defense whatsoever.
I kind of feel that LeBron's holding the cards in this situation, so it's
Sure.
really his way to where he wants to go, not the other way around. I don't think the Lakers got him under the bus like that.
Well, he's not.
So we'll
He's not
see.
under contract though, right? He's not under
No,
contract. Though.
it would probably be like a sign and trade kind of thing.
Mhm.
Where
Yeah.
the Lakers are like, hey, we're going to give you some money, right? Because we know we have takers. And so we're going to make it so that you probably get the most lucrative offer and then, and then trade you to, realistically, the Cavs are probably the only team that would really stand a chance in that trade. So if they could end up with a guy like Allen that they do like, the Cavs could benefit from, LeBron. Yeah, I mean, he's still a solid player, right? He's not the world beater that he once was, but he's a solid player. So I think that trade could work. I don't know if it happens, and maybe he just decides to go somewhere on his own. Who knows, right? Like
But does
anything.
it? I was about to say.
Anything can happen with LeBron.
Does it work though if some LeBron and his camp, Rich Paul, they're prioritizing the max deal? I mean, when I say max, meaning for the season, for one single
1
season,
year.
but still the max, 50, which is 57 or so million. Does that work for them? I mean, because you still got to pay him that money. That's what he wants.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Like that's something that the Cavs could do because they have the space for something like that. And if they were going to make one last push, you add LeBron, you have Harden, like you got a bunch of older stars. So are you going to make one last push to make this thing happen before this whole thing falls apart? That would be an effective way to do it. So the Lakers sign you to that 1 year max. They get a decent trade piece for it. The Cavs get to go ahead and try and do something. And, who knows? Maybe they get LeBron in a pick. Like, who knows exactly what that looks like. But that's about the only one scenario I could see that working out.
And just a question, a little bit off of the NBA draft. So they donned the hats of the teams that they got drafted by, correct? So what did you think about the bedazzled hats?
So I didn't actually watch the draft. The only draft I actually watch is the NFL's. The rest of them, I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to read about it in the morning and see where everybody went.
There you go. Well, yeah.
Same. I didn't watch it. I just followed it. Like it kept popping up on my phone, and I kept looking at and see who got drafted. But I'm just you mentioning that to me, since like tingling down my spine and hair standing up on my neck.
I mean,
I'm
it's
not
the
into the
NBA.
any sport, sir. If it was golf,
No.
tennis,
No.
I'm not wearing a bedazzled hat.
Look at the outfits that they wear, and then are you surprised by bedazzled hats?
Oh my goodness! Now I got to look this up.
No, I mean,
why-
just in general, when you look at NBA players when they go to the podium, the goofy stuff they're wearing most of the time.
Yeah.
Are you surprised that they would go out there and rock bedazzled hats? And it's not a shock to me.
Oh my goodness!
Have they done that in the NFL draft? Had bedazzled hats?
I haven't seen that. No.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
Yeah. So the NFL is very particular about their branding. So that is something that, you know, again, the NBA is a player ran league. The NFL is a shield driven league. So they are all about the way they look, the representation of the teams. They don't let you do a lot of, like, they fine you if you have the wrong color cleats and stuff. I mean, like, the NFL doesn't mess around. So I'd be surprised if they did a lot of that in the NFL, whereas with the NBA, you expect it.
All right, moving on.
Yeah.
Going to the World Cup, Lionel Messi, considered one of the GOATs of soccer, if not the GOAT of soccer, became the all-time scoring leader in history of the World Cup. So
yeah, he's killing it.
He's killing it. Yeah.
He's
And,
got
He scored. Hasn't he scored in every World Cup he's been in?
He's also got the only points for his country currently.
yeah, which is 5.
Yeah.
I believe 5. Yeah.
So that's a problem.
3-goal game. Yeah, that's
a problem.
Yeah.
Because if you get shut down in one of these games, ain't nobody else doing anything.
Right.
So, but yeah, he's got 5 goals so far. Really impressive. But yeah, at the same time, you got to look at that and be like, we're going to go as far as he can take us.
Messi's the only one that scored. You're saying, right?
Yeah,
only
has
one that's scoring on the team.
all of their scores.
I would call that a little messy.
Yeah.
Fun with puns. Let's go.
This for $500. Okay. All right. And let's congratulate the Oklahoma Sooners. They captured the College World Series of the North Carolina Tar Heels, taking the series 2-1 after a decisive winner-take-all game 3, 13-2. Jackson Wiltlitz named this College World Series most outstanding player. He is a shortstop, by the way, for the Sooners. I kind of saw that coming, though. Even though they won, North Carolina won the second game, I was like, I think what the Sooners did, they let the gas off the gas off the pedal there a little bit against that in the second round. I think they could have beat them in that game too. It's just sometimes, you know, you're overconfident in some games, and once they lost, they were like, yeah, I think we got to get back to beating behind. So they were the hottest team going into the College World Series playoffs. So, and they showed it. They're a very good team. So,
yeah, I mean,
good run for them.
They might have had a prop bet. They're like, hey, you know what? I had it taking the distance. So, you know, let's go ahead and dump this game. You know, speaking of Sorsby,
yeah. Yeah, that's a great.
Okay.
That's a great segue to it, because the NFL decided not to have a supplemental draft this season. So yeah, no Sorsby, no more Sorsby talk.
So that's
yes. You and I are on the same point. I'll let you give it a go.
So the funny thing about that is his lawyer came out and said that's not part of the agreed upon CBA. And so they are going to take it to court. which, let's be honest, is not going to go particularly well. Because even if you win, you ain't getting drafted.
Well, according to the CBA allows the NFL to make that decision.
Yeah, they're
the
not obligated to.
Yeah, they're not obligated to have a supplemental draft. So I don't know what he's.
No, the lawyer is actually overplaying the hand. And the fact that you're even talking about going the litigation route is going to make it very unappealing for any of the owners to want to do that anyway. And then the fact that you were betting on your sport, which is the one thing the NFL does not mess around with. And so, I mean, there's a lot of things going against this kid, all self-induced, right? Like he created this whole situation. And I mean, when you look at the amount of money that he stands to lose in this whole situation, right? Like if he didn't make these stupid bets, he would be trying to play himself into a top 5 pick this coming year, which is guaranteed, what, 50 million roughly. And instead he is messing around with $90,000 worth of bets. So, self-sabotage to the top, and then adding lawyers into this mix in a situation where they're not obligated to, it doesn't seem like it's going to work out great for the kid.
Ultimately, he's responsible. Because again, 9,000 bets, it's outrageous that you have a problem. And there's some that, including the NFL, I think they mentioned that they don't believe that he's contrite about and taking any type of accountability. He's only had 30 days, in the Gamblers Anonymous or whatever it is it's called. But even though, like you mentioned with the CBA, I don't think there's no rules that they indicate that they really should be restricting him from being drafted. So, but in this situation, he's put himself in a rock and a hard place. I mean, ultimately, he's got to take responsibility, but at the same time, sports too have to take a responsibility. They're colluding, not colluding, but they put their hands in gambling, and now you have all this stuff going on, and it's a lot easier to be tempted to do those types of things. And if you have someone that has a problem,
the thing is, though, is they don't make it so you can't bet. They make it so you can't bet on your own sport. So go gamble it up. Have a great time.
Yeah.
Don't bet on your sport. Certainly not on your team. Like that's where you get crushed in this deal. If he had 9,000 bets and none of them were on football, and then sure, they could overlook all of those things, right? Even if it was done in a way that maybe it was in a state that you weren't allowed to, or like they could overlook those types of things. The leagues don't actually care about any of that. Soon as you start to doubt the integrity of their sport on the field, that's where they shut it down. You can be an absolute monster in every other facet of life. If you start to damage the crest that they have representing their sport, that's where you're done.
So this gives me a little bit of Pete Rose. I mean, not saying that he's in the professional sport already, but he's trying to get there. But again, like you mentioned, betting on your own team. He may not ever play NFL at all.
Well, that's my point.
I mean, yeah, he may end up being in CFL or UFL and being a superstar. And then the crazy thing is, what's sad is that he has the potential, like you said, to be top 5, top 10 first round draft pick. Because he was that good. A lot of people didn't know who he was, but I mean, if you're a football fan, you know who he is and what he's done. When he was in Cincinnati, he played, but when he was in Indiana, that's where he did most of his damage betting on his own team. I don't know. I feel bad, but I don't feel bad. I think that again, you make your bed. This is where you have to lie in it, and so, and again. They were going to try to let him play college football again, but he got a lot of backlash. Texas Tech got a lot of backlash for the cheap, insignificant punishment that they gave him, and letting this guy play.
That 2 games is ridiculous.
The 2 insignificant games. Insignificant games too at the same time.
No, as soon as you had other schools saying, "Hey, we're going to remove your school from our list forever," it's like, oh, okay, yeah, this is not going to work out. So, especially for a guy that only had 1 year left of eligibility anyway. So it's not even like you're doing the long play here. It's you have him for this coming year, and that was it anyway. So, yeah, there ended up being way too much pressure.
This is what he needs to do. If he's not going to be able to get into the league, he needs to go UFL or CFL, arena, whatever it may be, ball out, and then get drafted. Or
So it'd probably be the UFL. The CFL is very similar in the way of we don't want you gambling, we don't want you tarnishing our league. And so if he was going to make it to one of those levels, it'd probably be the UFL. But is as much overlap as the UFL handshaking, so to speak, with the NFL, even that's tough because they're talking about being close enough with the league that, if they have low graded enough refs, they're going to demote them to the UFL. So now you're having this bleed over between the two leagues. They may not even entertain a guy that has a gambling history on your own sport.
My thing is, this is the country where you're supposed to be in the land of opportunity and second chances. I think he's going to get his second chance, but I think it would have to be some restrictions, some things put in place, to some things that would actually protect the league or that particular team, and make sure that he goes through a lot of channels. Say, for instance, like you got to go through test, put things into his contract saying we got to check on you, and he can go play for the Houston Gamblers in the UFL. Yes, of course. Yes, that would be a great team to go play for. Exactly.
Or to your post just above it, the Raiders. Let's go. He certainly won't get in trouble there.
He'd be the number one gambler on that team. Yep.
I mean, the biggest thing is when you see these guys doing this, like it has to be some of the thrill of maybe you get caught, because otherwise have someone else place the bets. Like, what are we doing?
I mean, look at Ohtani. I'm just kidding.
Right?
Sorry, Ohtani, if you didn't do it.
Hey, I don't know.
That's something that
go away.
The NFL will come down hard on you. And that was what prevented Jameson Williams to miss the whole season, because what he did, he was placing bets on college teams in the building.
Exactly.
So he was lucky that he wasn't betting on NFL teams. He was betting on college teams. So that's okay.
He's also lucky
in the building.
He's also lucky he was good, because if he was a lower talent guy like a couple of the other guys, they were no longer on the team.
Yeah, they're no longer on the team. Yeah. So they gave him a little leeway on that one.
This is another example of the NFL trying to remain in control. We saw what happened with, and this had nothing to do with gambling. In my opinion, this had everything to do with controlling the narrative and with Shedeur Sanders when he was dropped and dropped down to the 5th round. It's controlling guys that make a crap ton of money in college. They go wherever they want to go. We want to control the narrative and say, you're not going to come here and do any of that. You're going to get humbled and embarrassed, and you're going to fall in our line. I mean, the situation, again, he'll probably play at some point, but they're trying to deter other kids from coming in and trying to do the same thing.
Hey,
it's going to be tough, though. It's going to be tough, though.
The NFL is very big on nobody's bigger than the crest.
Yep.
Like this logo right here is the only logo that matters. We're around before you got here. We'll be around while you're gone. Hopefully you do something cool for us while you're here, but we don't care if you do. And, and that's why anything that is going to tarnish the brand, that's where you never step foot on the field again. Like if it's domestic violence, they don't care. If there's a video of you just beating someone down in an elevator, you're never going to get on the field again. Right. If you are gambling on your sport where people start to think it actually is rigged, never going to play again.
Oh,
exactly.
Nobody's above the shield.
Yeah, the NFL Shield is their motto song should be the Dukes of Hazzard's theme song. Just some good old boys.
Hey,
never mean no harm.
They don't mess around.
All it does is make them more and more money, though. So they're not doing it wrong.
No, I would say that I have to give the NFL credit. Every year, Roger Goodell, he gets booed, but he can care less. He'll walk that boo all the way to the bank because the NFL makes the most money out of any sport, outside of soccer. But yeah.
What's the irony of the Sorsby thing is that people, I bet you they're having betting lines on where he goes next.
Oh, there is absolutely a prop bet. 100%.
And what's the kicker to that is that he probably bet on it himself.
Watch me fix this bet.
If nothing else, he's going to bet on himself to be a streaker in one of the games just so he can get all his pay. Hey, guy did that last year. Made like $10 million doing it.
Oh, wow.
Called his own number. Like, hey, I'm going to get kicked out of the stadium forever. But, I forget what he put. It was like $1,000 bet on a streaker. And then he went and was the streaker. And there's nothing against saying you can do that. So good on him.
So just before we go, we're going to give the NHL a little prop here. The Edmonton Oilers hire Mike Babcock as their new head coach. The NHL cleared Babcock in an investigation. I just love saying his name. On his brief tenure with the Columbus Blue Jackets in 2023, he was accused of invading players' privacy, which they found after they did the investigation that he did not do so, and he was within his rights to do whatever. I think it was something where he asked everybody to give them their phone so he could scroll through. It was weird. It was kind of a weird thing, actually, but obviously didn't see there was anything wrong with it. So now he is the new head coach of the Edmonton Oilers. NHL's been trading a lot too in the past few days. One of the biggest trades, one of the first trades was Ottawa Senators trading winger Brady Tkachuk to the Florida Panthers, uniting him with his brother Matthew. That's a significant thing right there. I think that's gonna. I don't know if it's gonna make. Well, they did very well when they played together in Olympics.
No, that's a good move for them.
Yeah. I don't know if that's going to translate to the Panthers because they kind of bowed out early this year. So maybe that'll start them up.
They had some injury issues throughout the season. So the Kraken was actually a benefit of that move as well. For them to be able to get the draft capital to make that happen, they had to get some of it, and they got that from Seattle, where we went and got Mackie Smortskovich, and they got a 26 first and a 27 second from the Kraken. For the Kraken, that's awesome, though, because they ended up with a guy that has a lot of speed and shoots. And shooting was a very real issue for the Kraken this year. Defense was great. We had a really hard time finding the back of the net. And, it wasn't just ill-advised shots. It was just we didn't uncork a shot. So for them to go get a guy that has a lot of speed, likes to shoot, that was a great pickup for them. And then they did finally re-sign Bobby McMahon, who, once the trade deadline came through, played great for the Kraken. So the Kraken come into this coming season with 2 shooters, which is 2 more shooters than they had last year. So it should make an impact for this team.
Yeah. Also, in NHL news, they are talking about expansion again, and where they want to expand is in Texas. Either Austin or Houston are 2 of the cities that they want to put a hockey team in. So that would be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be
I think it's gonna be Houston too, to tell you the truth. I don't see Austin. Although Austin did have a semi-pro hockey team, which was the Iced Owls or Bats. My bad, Iced Bats.
All right,
but there was a name for the Bats. I forgot a Spanish name for the Bats because they all hang under this bridge in Austin. I don't know what it is, but I thought that would have been a better name for them if that was the case. But anyway, that's just me.
So speaking of expansion, the season's longer this year for the NHL. It is 84 games now.
Okay.
So instead of 82, Not sure why, but but they got rid of a couple of preseason games and added it to the regular season, and so they no longer have the same game count as basketball for, again, whatever reason.
Well, that's good if you're a hockey fan, and if you don't like hockey, well, you don't really care anyway.
I mean, you basically just moved 2 preseason games to the regular season. Like, it didn't really. It's not like you got more games.
That's what they're going to eventually do with the NFL too. They're just going to get rid of preseason games and add on a couple of regular season games. That's their goal, but it's happening everywhere. I'm sure the NBA will come up with that too pretty soon.
If they start adding games to baseball, like, man, what are we doing?
Oh no,
I feel like
need that.
I feel like 162 is enough.
I don't mind adding teams, but adding games, no. Yeah, so because they still got 30, right? And Major League Baseball still got 30 teams.
Yep.
Yeah. So 32 would be good. But anyway, that is all for us today on the show. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Have a great evening. We'll see you next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a great one, everybody. Peace. See you.